South Korea's President Moon Jae-in has secured support from both sides of politics for plans to boost the economy hit hard by the COVID-19 outbreak. Plans for an emergency budget will be unveiled as soon as next week.
Fear in the community is growing as South Korea reports another daily record of infections. The number of new cases has increased by 571. The overall total now more than 2,300.
It's the largest outbreak outside of China. 3 more deaths have also been reported, taking the death toll to 16. Almost 80% of the new cases are from the southern city of Daegu, where a cluster of infection has been linked to a religious group.
South Korea is expecting even more new cases in the next few days. And for the latest, correspondent Bruce Harrison joins us live in Seoul. Bruce, what more can you tell us about this multi-billion-dollar extra budget plan?
Linda, well, the main thrust of this extra budget is to support the local economy during this very tough time because of the coronavirus. South Korea's economy was already struggling with projections for lower growth this year, so this would be a much-needed boost. There's a couple things in there. Several include financial support, gift vouchers for households. There's also money for landlords, tax incentives for landlords if they agree to lower rents for small and medium businesses. And the small job market here was already incredibly difficult before coronavirus, so I can imagine they're desperately needing a boost. And it looks like President Moon Jae-in will get this through the National Assembly. Steve, you had mentioned some bipartisan support. Today, members of the opposition as well as the president met on the grounds of the National Assembly. They met in a building, a room called Sarangje, which means room of love in Korean. And President Moon needs as much love as he can get right now because the opposition absolutely hates him. But when it comes to a national crisis like a viral outbreak, it looks like they're willing to come across the aisle. Despite that, after the meeting, opposition leaders still came out in front of the press and attacked the president for not shutting down the borders with China more quickly to possibly stem the flow of the virus. So no love lost at the end of the day in the love room for the president and his opposition.
It has been quite a day. Some 570 new infections were reported, the highest daily spike in cases. What are authorities then doing to address concerns that the outbreak could be spiraling out of control?
One of the main things they're doing, Steve, is they're calling for people to avoid gathering in large groups, especially with the weekend coming up. They're saying maybe avoid religious services. They've already canceled so many different art festivals, sporting events. They're also hoping that far right-wing opposition protesters don't come out in the streets this weekend, which they do regularly to protest against the Moon administration. They're hoping they come or stay home just to, help prevent the spread. Beyond that, sanitation efforts or de-sterilization efforts, I should say, taking place in public spaces, on public transportation. The government's also simply encouraging people to wash their hands regularly, avoid unnecessary contact, and, they're hoping what they're doing right now, the tracking and testing of these church members who have led to the spread of the virus, will ultimately bring the situation under control as that process moves forward.
All right, many thanks for that. Bruce Harrison speaking to us from Seoul.